The 2025 Miami Grand Prix delivered one of the most dramatic and action-packed races of the Formula One season so far. The race had everything: overtakes, internal team disputes, mechanical failures, and a commanding performance from McLaren. While Oscar Piastri took his third consecutive victory and strengthened his position in the championship, the spotlight also shone on the chaos at Ferrari, where tensions between Lewis Hamilton and Charles Leclerc reached a boiling point. Gabriel Bortoleto's weekend also ended in frustration, as he was forced to retire due to a mechanical issue. From the very beginning of the race, it was clear that this would not be a calm Sunday. Max Verstappen got off to a strong start and pushed Lando Norris off the track, forcing the McLaren driver to fall back to sixth place in the early laps. Despite this setback, McLaren showed impressive race pace, proving they were a step ahead of everyone else. Oscar Piastri started applying pressure on Verstappen lap after lap, carefully studying the best place to make his move. By lap 14, he saw his opportunity, went on the inside and made a clean pass to take the lead with authority. Just 3 laps later, Norris also managed to overtake Verstappen, giving McLaren a well-earned 1-2 on track. The McLaren dominance was so strong that not even the virtual safety car could interrupt their control of the race. George Russell attempted to use the moment to advance, but had to settle for third place. Verstappen, who had started the race with high hopes, especially after securing pole position on Saturday and becoming a father for the first time during the weekend, could not respond and finished in 4th place. It was a disappointing result for the Red Bull driver, whose car simply lacked the pace to match McLaren. Meanwhile, at the back of the grid, Brazilian driver Gabriel Bortoleto was having a solid race after starting from 13th place. He was maintaining a competitive rhythm and fighting for points. Unfortunately, his race came to an early end on lap 33 due to an engine problem. It was a tough blow for the rookie, who could not convert his efforts into a positive result, despite a promising drive. The middle of the pack was filled with intense battles, but perhaps the biggest story came from within the Ferrari garage. Lewis Hamilton, who had been running a consistent race, found himself stuck behind teammate Charles Leclerc. At that point in the race, Hamilton was on medium tires, while Leclerc was on the harder compound, which naturally made him slower. The logical decision would have been to let Hamilton through so he could chase the cars ahead. However, Ferrari chose not to give the order, leaving Hamilton behind Leclerc for several laps. The frustration was clear in Hamilton's radio messages. He didn't hide his feelings, openly criticizing the team's lack of cooperation by saying, "This is not good teamwork." Eventually, after repeated insistence and growing pressure, Ferrari allowed Hamilton to pass. But by then, his tires were already worn out and his pace dropped. To make matters worse, towards the end of the race, Ferrari reversed their decision and asked Hamilton to give the position back to Leclerc. When Hamilton was informed that Carlos Sainz was also approaching, he responded with sarcasm, saying, "Do you want me to let him pass too?" This moment revealed the ongoing communication issues within Ferrari. What was supposed to be a new era with Hamilton at the team is quickly becoming a series of internal conflicts between the driver and the strategy team. Hamilton's outburst on the radio wasn't just a heat-of-the-moment reaction. It was a sign of deeper frustration with the lack of strategic clarity and organization at Ferrari. His sarcastic comment about Sainz was not just a jab, it was a direct message to a team that seems unable to support its most experienced driver. From an outsider's perspective, it's becoming increasingly obvious that Ferrari is struggling with decision-making during races. Hamilton is known for being a driver who likes to understand the plan and execute it with precision. But in Miami, it looked like he was driving without a clear strategy. Constant changes in team orders, the delay in letting him pass Leclerc, and then asking him to give the position back, all contributed to a confusing and unproductive race. And this confusion caused unnecessary tire wear, further limiting Hamilton's ability to compete. Within the team, the lack of clear leadership is starting to show. Ferrari had high hopes when they brought Hamilton on board, expecting him to bring experience and leadership. But now, the pressure is mounting not only because of the car's performance, but also due to the team's inability to make consistent and logical decisions. If these problems continue, one must wonder whether the partnership between Hamilton and Ferrari will even last until the end of the contract. While McLaren continues to dominate, Red Bull is facing performance drops and Mercedes is fighting for consistency. Ferrari seems lost in a maze of poor strategies. For Lewis Hamilton, who joined the team with the dream of turning things around, the reality has been far from ideal. Once again in Miami, it became clear that Ferrari cannot yet provide a reliable plan from start to finish. For a driver who is used to excellence and structure, this is perhaps more frustrating than any poor result. As Oscar Piastri celebrated his third straight victory and Lando Norris returned to the podium, Hamilton left the track visibly upset, with growing noise behind the scenes. Ferrari, already under pressure as one of the biggest teams in the sport, now faces an even greater challenge, dealing with a seven-time champion who feels held back by poor decisions. Interestingly, Charles Leclerc, despite being in the same car in the same situation, seems more accepting of the team's chaotic ways. Hamilton, however, continues to push for answers and reacts immediately when things go wrong, as we saw on the radio. This difference in behavior might cause even more tension within the team if not addressed soon. The championship is still in its early stages, but if Ferrari wants to fight at the front, they'll need more than just a fast car. They'll need to regain control of their decision-making and align fully with their drivers. Without this unity, even Hamilton's incredible talent might not be enough to save their season. McLaren, on the other hand, has shown incredible organization and focus. Piastri now leads the championship with confidence, and the team looks well prepared and united. While Ferrari continues to stumble over their own choices, McLaren is making all the right moves, showing that strong internal structure is just as important as car performance. Hamilton arrived at Ferrari surrounded by excitement and high expectations, but so far it feels like he's running out of time and patience. The way things played out in Miami wasn't just a one-off incident. It was a clear sign that the team hasn't learned from its past mistakes. While Piastri is overtaking world champions and winning races, Hamilton is stuck having to fight his own teammate just to make progress. It's hard to imagine a more symbolic contrast between where both drivers and their teams stand right now. Bortoleto's retirement adds another layer of disappointment for fans hoping to see the Brazilian rookie shine. Though his pace was decent, technical issues ended his race early. His focus will now turn to the next race weekend, where he will aim to recover and score his first points of the season. For Bortoleto, consistency and luck will be essential if he wants to establish himself in a tough midfield battle. The Miami GP has made one thing clear: Formula One in 2025 is full of unpredictable twists. McLaren is rising fast, Ferrari is battling internal chaos, Red Bull is no longer unbeatable, and Mercedes is quietly working its way back into the fight. And through all of this, Lewis Hamilton finds himself in a situation no one expected, fighting not just his rivals on track,